Mystic zeal that just comes forth from them is amazing, and their willingness to do as Paul said to the Corinthian church. He says, your willingness to put sin behind you, what diligence that produced in you. You see, those that once they're in Christ for a while. See, I'm a little more mature now. I'm a little more mature. I don't need to struggle with this. I've learned to just get along with those aspects. Or you find yourself constantly excusing yourself. They didn't drive out the Canaanites. In fact, they thought they were being clever. They put them under tribute and made them forced laborers. So that wasn't really good for their life. As you find when you finish the book of Joshua and you turn to the book of Judges, all of the nations of Israel put under tribute. Sevenfold oath, mistress of the well, mistresses, ruins, bone, God's generation, foolish, devotion, winding, dunghill. There's a town to be from. Dunghill, palm branch, witness, weapon sprouting, spring, pomegranate. All the cities are 29 with their villages. In the lowlands, entreaty, hornets, I will cause change. To cast off, fountain of the garden, apple city, double spring. Heights, justice of the people, bushy, dug over, double gate, double ornament. Wall, double walls, 14 cities with their villages. Pointed, brand new, Tower of Gad, Gourd, Watchtower, the blessedness of God, invincible, rocky height, the builder, provisions, man's wall.
On our way, sir.
Walls, house of the fish god, loveliness, place of shepherds, 16 cities with their villages.
Vehicle ready. Securing position.
Smoke,
on our way, sir.
Whom God sets free.
High speed,
I will
low
cause
drag.
change. Garrison, fortress, deceit. Crest of hill, 9 cities with their villages. Torn up by the roots with its towns and villages. From Ekron to the sea, all that lay near Ashdod, which means powerful.
Ready to roll.
Their villages.
On our way,
Ashdod
sir.
with its towns
Unit
and villages.
reporting.
Gaza,
Good to go.
which means the
Unit
strong,
reporting.
with
Securing
its towns
position.
and villages as far as the brook of Egypt.
Vehicle ready.
Great
Good to go.
seas, coastline, and the mountain country. Thorn,
24/7.
bushy,
there it
judgment,
is.
City
Yes,
of
sir.
enmity,
Destination, Commander.
sanctuary,
On our way, sir.
fruit, obedience,
Yes, sir.
fountains,
Outstanding.
drawing near, sandy, exile, 11 cities with their villages.
Ready to roll.
Ambush,
Good to go.
silence,
Unit
support,
reporting.
asleep,
Bound forward.
house of apples,
Securing position.
enclosure,
Unit reporting.
place of lizards,
Outstanding. Vehicle ready.
which
Good to
is
go.
Hebron,
Destination, Commander.
association,
Outstanding.
door, smallness, habitation, garden land, battlement, stretched out, God sows, burning of the people, cast off. Possession, hill, portion, 10 cities with their villages. Trembling, house of the rock, wall, bareness, house of responses. God is straight, 6 cities with their villages.
Unit ready.
City of
Colonel
Baal,
Miner
which is
reporting for
Kirjath
duty.
Jearim,
It's
city
in
of
the bank.
woods.
Unit
Greatness in the wilderness, house of the desert valley, measures, thickets, soft soil, fountain of the kids, 6 cities with their villages. And so you get a sense of Judah and its boundaries and the cities that are in it. We see that when we look at this, that Judah gets 112 pre-built habitations.
Oh,
You know,
hello,
the
sir.
nation of Israel was
Mining.
told that when they were brought
there
back
it
to the
is.
promised land, they would eat from vineyards they did not plant and
How
live in
about some
houses they
action?
did not build.
Got it. Can
They
do.
were going to go
On the
occupy
move.
a land in which the previous people
Everything's
had
made to fit.
built the
We can make
infrastructure.
adjustments. Tools of the
But
trade.
God was
Made
going
for
to judge
speed.
them and move
We
them
can
out.
make adjustments.
And
Running
so
smooth.
there was a great benefit
IFB ready.
waiting for
On the
them.
go.
Everything was available for
Transformer
them.
panel
But
in order. Yep.
when we look at this, remember that in terms of its application to us, what we see is a wonderful type and shadow
There it is.
of Joshua,
ready.
Jesus,
On the go.
leading us
Transformer
into
panels
our
in order.
promised land, which
Fast
is
and
not
light.
heaven. It's a spirit-led life.
Tools of the trade.
It's entering
Fast and
into
light.
the
Need a
fullness that
conversion?
God has for us. The
Made
book
for
of Hebrews
speed.
calls that the rest
Need a conversion?
that we
Made
should
for
labor
speed.
to enter into. And that's why when you study the book of Joshua, you're recognizing that Joshua could have vanquished everyone
We can make
and
adjustments.
left
On the
no
go.
enemies there at all. But instead, Joshua vanquishes the authorities that are there. The temptations, the opportunities are still there. So these cities that define the borders are interesting.
We can make adjustments.
You could
Made
spend a
for
lot
speed.
of time sort of going through
Everything's made to
and,
fit.
seeing
Yep. Everything's made to fit. Yep.
Pilgrim's Progress, where they use the name of emotions and feelings as the name of various characters and places. You can see a similar sort of a thing unfolding before you here. It's quite provocative to do so. We don't have time to do that tonight, but I give you those rough translations so that you can see there's a lot behind the text. But what's important for us to recognize is that those cities represent opportunity that God has already gone before and put in place. But with every opportunity, there's also opposition. Now, the ruling authority have been decapitated. They've been eliminated. The cities are there. The people, their armies have been defeated. And so, really, Israel just needs to go in and begin to occupy that which is rightfully theirs.
We will trample our
that
enemies.
should be their
Let's see
strength.
some action.
But instead, as they allow their opposition to remain in the cities,
Our ally is under attack.
they become refortified and they become a source of backsliding within the nation of Israel, just as when we come to Christ by faith and we see the authority of sin in our life broken, when we go back into those same places and follow those same habits, we rebuild the walls of our enemies rather than destroying them. And as a result of it, we'll be like the nation of Israel that did not complete the work that was started by Joshua and the armies of Israel.
New construction
Continuing verse 63, as for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah and Jerusalem to this day. Now, throughout the study of Joshua, we've shown you that
Check out go
really,
anyway.
there should be no reason for that type of response. Oh, that's just something that's too hard for me to do.
Unit ready.
You need to understand. You can't do that.
Got a clear view,
Judah
sir. I'll take
could
the high road.
not conquer Jerusalem. Why?
Fuel tanks are filled.
Why?
You've got no place to hide.
Especially when you consider that they
Clear out the place.
had their armies defeated.
They won't see us
In
coming.
fact, in the first military campaign, Joshua chapter 10,
I'll take the high road.
their king, Adonai-Zedek,
Riding high.
Pages reporting.
he
Adjusting
was
for ground.
captured by Joshua
On the
and
mark,
killed.
sir. We're uncrushable.
So they
Right
don't
away,
have
sir.
a king,
Unit ready.
and they don't have an army. So what prevented Judah from going up and taking
Our
the city
ally
of
is under
Jerusalem?
attack.
A lack of
Unit
will.
ready.
And the longer that you allow ungodliness
Our ally is under attack.
to grow
Our ally
in
is
your
under
life,
attack.
the old man to find root in your life, it doesn't get easier with time.
Ready to soar. Up and over.
That's why I
All
love
fired
being
up.
around a brand new
Check out
Christian
the
who's
view.
just come to
I
that
can see 'em.
knowledge that there is the creator and sustainer of the universe, has sent forth his only begotten Son, God incarnate in the person of Jesus Christ, to take upon himself the penalty of all their wrongdoing, past, present, future. And all the evangelistic zeal that just comes forth from them is amazing, and their willingness to do as Paul said to the Corinthian church. He says, your willingness to put sin behind you, what diligence that produced in you.
Our ally is
See,
under
Gear
attack.
of
for those
reporting.
that once they're in Christ for a while. See, I'm a little more mature now. I'm a little more mature. I don't need
Gear
to
of
struggle with this.
reporting.
I've learned to just get along with those aspects of my life because it offends people if
Unit
you're on
lost.
too much of a quest
Building.
Gear
for
of
God's best.
reporting.
You don't need to
Unit
do that.
lost.
Calm down.
Unit ready.
Not realizing that sometimes the term maturity is used as a byword for
Unit ready.
aging.
Fuel tank, we can make adjustments.
You're allowing
Gear of
yourself to
reporting.
just become more and more spiritual.
Unit lost.
And so for Judah, there was no reason why they could not
Unit lost.
do it. Perhaps it was because they didn't even try. So it was just you see, later King David would come to Jerusalem. He would give a challenge to his soldiers, and they would climb up the inside of a well into the city and conquer it.
Cannot deploy here.
David's little band of
Gear of
mighty
reporting.
men would go conquer the city.
Unit lost.
Because David knew that was part of the heritage of Judah.
Construction complete.
He establishes this place as the place of his throne. He expands it to the south to what we know as the city of David
Cannot
today.
deploy here.
And Solomon finally builds his permanent temple.
Gear of reporting.
David
Gear of
puts
reporting.
things in place to do it, and
Under attack.
Solomon builds the first temple.
Our ally is
Let's
under
move on to
attack.
chapter 16.
Construction complete.
The lot fell to the children of Joseph from the Jordan by Jericho to the water that Jericho to the east, to the wilderness that goes up from Jericho
Gear of
to the
reporting.
mountains of the house of
Unit
God.
ready.
Then went down from Bethel to Luz, which means almond tree, passed along the border of the archive of crowns, and went down toward the boundary of those who delivered, as far as the boundary of the Lord
Gear of
Bethon, which
reporting.
means house of altars, to Bezer, which means portion. It ended at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their
Orders
inheritance.
on my way.
The border of the
Let's
children
make
of
a
Ephraim,
warpath.
according to their families, was thus. The border of their inheritance on the east side was the crowns of glory, as far as the house of Colonus. And the border went out toward the sea, toward the north side of the hiding place, and the borders went around the eastward to the approach of the place of rest, and passed by it on the east side, resting. Then it went down to resting the crowns, the maidens, reaching Jericho, which means it's the place of the moon god.
Is under attack.
And it came out of
Unit
Jordan.
promoted.
The border went from the Yappa city westward to Reed and ended at the sea. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim, the children of families, and the separate cities of the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities of their villages. And so now we get to the next inheritance, is that to Ephraim, one of the two sons of Joseph, and they will receive their inheritance. Joshua from Ephraim will establish this really in a
Protector of
heartland.
the Allied
It really
fleet.
is in the heart of
Protector of the Allied fleet. Guidance
the
system
nation
set.
of Israel. They did not drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer or Portion, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites to this day and
Gear
have
of
become
reporting.
labor. Again, like Judah,
Missile
Ephraim
systems operational.
finds a way
Guidance
to
system set.
coexist. You know, let's just accommodate that. It's not really important. It doesn't affect my witness as far as I'm concerned, so I'm not going to really concern
Launch the heat
myself.
seekers.
It doesn't bother me. Well,
Reporting.
you're not the judge
Pages reporting.
of how your life should be lived.
The Allied
You say it doesn't bother me. Your opinion doesn't matter. You have been raised from the dead. The life you now live, you live under Jesus Christ, Paul said. Therefore, if you're trying to interject your opinion, you are putting yourself at the same authority as Jesus Christ in your life. Why don't you step back and say, what would you tell me?
Gear of reporting.
Too much personal freedom leads us
Missile
to a
systems
state
operational. Rudder
of
set.
authority.
Pages
We
reporting.
dare not.
Launch the heat seekers.
You should be looking at the kingdom of
Aegis reporting. Guidance system
To
set.
be, as John the Baptist said concerning himself, I must increase.
Navigating water space.
You have a daily program to see
Unit ready.
or are you finding yourself constantly excusing yourself to be old who you don't still have always been.
Unit lost.
They didn't drive out the Canaanites. In fact, they thought they were being clever. They put them under tribute and made them forced laborers. So that won't work very good very long. As you find when you finish the book of Joshua, you turn to the book of Judges. All of the nations Israel put under tribute turned around in their own turn and put Israel under. It all Chapter 17. There was also a lot from the tribe of Manasseh. He was the firstborn of Joseph, namely Naphar sold, firstborn of Manasseh, father of Gilead Rachel, because he was a man of war. Therefore, he was given Gilead and Bashan, Rachel and Shushan. There was a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh according to their families. They were children of their father's house. The children of Portion, the children of Azriel, actually the prince of God, the children of Shoulder, the children of Hefer, the children of wise men. Were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, according to their families. And so what we see there's a portion given to Judah and Manasseh. Half the tribe of Manasseh had already taken the inheritance on the east side of the Jordan River. And so the remainder of it are a family that are left, they enter in. So now it's a split house there in terms of the tribe of Manasseh.
Gear of reporting.
But
Unit ready.
Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters.
Primary building
And these were the
selected.
names of his daughters. Disease. Sweet, eh? Eldest daughter, Disease. Disease, Motion, Partridge, Queen, so he liked the fourth daughter, I guess, and Favorable. So he had these 5 daughters. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the rulers, saying, the Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brothers. Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them inheritance among their father's brothers. 10 shares fell to Manasseh because of the land of Gilead and Bashan were on the other side of the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh received an inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And so you have this fascinating little parenthetical story here with regards to the daughter of Zelophehad. Now, what's fascinating is these daughters, these offspring of the eldest, the firstborn, he didn't have a male issue.
Gear of
So
reporting.
in Numbers, the law specified that if there was someone who was intended for an inheritance and they did not have a male offspring, the daughter could inherit,
Gear of
and
reporting.
the way they did it was ultimately their husbands would be adopted
Gear
by
of reporting.
the daughter's father. And that becomes important because that's imperative when we deal with the claim of Jesus as the Messiah. When you look at the lineage of Jesus, of course, you have Matthew's gospel that begins in terms of David, begins with David to
Gear of
Solomon and Solomon
reporting.
to Jehoiachin, and Jehoiachin to Joseph, which is
Scanning for
kingly
aircraft.
line,
Guidance system set. Launching heat
through
seekers.
the male offspring. The problem, of course, is that Jehoiachin was cursed by God. Jeremiah chapter
Navigating
14,
water
verse 30
space.
tells us that he is cursed and no one will sit on the throne after him. The bloodline is cursed at that point. I'm sure Satan at that point thought, fantastic. Eliminated the possibility for the Messiah to come. But of course, Luke's gospel gives us another lineage which takes not the line through Solomon, but through David's second son through that of Nathan to Kelly,
Operational.
which is
Clear in the
Mary's
sky.
father, and we're given then that Eli has as his son-in-law, and therefore adopted son, according to this Numbers chapter 27 law. It says if there's no male offspring, then the one who will inherit is the husband of the eldest daughter. So here we have then the claim of Jesus Christ
Year of
having an
reporting.
uninterrupted genealogy back to David.
Our ally is under
Let's
attack.
continue. Verse 7.
Unit
The
lost.
territory of Manasseh was
Unit
from
promoted.
Happy. I love pointing that out, like the 7 to Asher. Happy to the hiding place
Unit ready.
that lies east of the shoulder, on the border along the south to the inhabitants of the fountain of Apple City. You know, Apple computers must have been there, I guess. Everywhere. Got Apple cities everywhere.
Unit ready.
Manasseh had the land of the Apple City,
Unit ready.
but the Apple City on the border of Manasseh belongs to the children of Ephraim. The border descended to the brook Reed, southward to the brook. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The border of Manasseh was on the north side of the brook, and it ended at the sea. Southward it is Ephraim, northward it is Manasseh's border. Manasseh's territory was adjoining Asher on the north and Issachar on the east. And Issachar and Asher, Manasseh had Beth-Shean, which means house of Eve, and its towns
Year of reporting.
devouring the people, and its towns the inhabitants of generation, and its towns the inhabitants of Endor. You'll be familiar.
Tools of the
going
trade.
through,
Fast and light.
The
Year of
kings,
reporting.
Samuel will know the which at Endor, but at any rate, which means
Year of
fountain
reporting.
generations. And its towns, the inhabitants of Sandy, and its towns, the inhabitants of Megiddo,
Year
which
of
means place of
reporting.
farms, and in its towns, 3 hilly regions. And so we have this large territory to the north of Ephraim, which completes the inheritance of Joseph divided between Manasseh and Ephraim. But yet again we read in verse 12, yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities.
Protector of the
The
Allied
Canaanites
fleet.
were
Target
determined to
confirmed.
dwell in that land.
Agents reporting.
Determined.
Bring them down.
They could not drive them out because they were determined. Who's in
Navigating water
charge
space.
here? Isn't it interesting how we can make excuse?
Building.
Well,
Year
it's just
of
too
reporting.
You need to understand. In my family, some sort of a genetic makeup issue. We're all hot-blooded. We're all this. We're all that.
Unit promoted.
We're all that way. So what? If you're in Christ, behold, all things have become new. We're supposed to be a new creation in Christ
Missile
Jesus.
systems operational. Launch the heat seekers.
It doesn't mean that he eliminates the sense of who we are, smashing us to smithereens. Instead, like a potter to clay, he moistens the clay, he reshapes the clay into a vessel of honor. We have to be willing to submit ourselves to the work of the potter on the wheel. Part of our problem is we don't like that. We still like the idea of the sovereignty of man. And in doing so, we inhibit our capacity to enter and enjoy the fullness of our inheritance in Christ now, of what God would do through us, because we're so busy defending our right to be this way or that way. Well, I'm just a grumpy-old person, or I just have great passion, or I just, I'm doing this, whatever it is. If it's something that the Bible says is wrong, then we should not make license to it.
Unit ready.
Saying the enemies were determined, but also what?
Unit promoted. Unit
So,
ready.
through the power of the Spirit,
Unit ready.
we have been told that there is not any area in our life which comes as a result of our fleshly appetite, which we cannot
Year
overcome,
of reporting.
but not in the power of our own capability. It is only through the power of the Spirit. So there's something different. The enemies were determined.
Building.
and so they could not drive them out. And it happened when the children of Israel grew strong, that they put the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not utterly drive them out.
Construction
Boy,
complete. Unit promoted.
how clever we think we are. Israel was strong,
Unable to
but
comply. Building in
they
progress.
didn't do what they were told to do. That's
Gear
when you
of
are your
reporting.
most dangerous.
And do! Double time!
When you think you're strong,
Building.
that's when you are at your weakest. Sometimes strength
Our ally is under attack. Unit
because
ready.
we
Protector of the Allied fleet. All hands on deck.
it's better
Gear
to
of
be weak.
reporting.
Here's an example, Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. Jesus, writing to the church at Philadelphia, says this,
Target
"See,
confirmed.
I have set
Brother
before
said.
you the
Unit
door,
ready.
and no one can shut it. For you have little strength, have kept my
Protector
word."
of the Allied
Gear
fleet.
of reporting.
Wow, three things.
Unit promoted.
You
Unit
have little
ready.
strength. The less strength you have, the more you are going to cry. The more you say, "I'm just a really strong character, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to bully my way through this, or whatever, or I don't care, or it doesn't
Our
matter."
ally is under attack.
You're operating on
Allied
as
cruiser
soon as you're
ready.
ready.
Launching heat seekers. Launch the heat seekers.
You have little strength. You've kept my name. That name is not simply denying the name Jesus. It
Gear
denying
of reporting.
authority.
Unit
You
promoted.
have not denied the authority of Jesus Christ over you. I bristle when I hear people say, "Well, you know, I accept Jesus as my Savior, but not quite as my Lord." I don't really like
Gear
that
of
idea
report.
of
hello, sir.
the lordship
Gear
of
of
Jesus
reporting.
Christ. I mean, that just sounds a bit, you know,
Unit ready.
I don't know. The things that I do in my life, and you know, being a right out there type Christian is going to slow all of that down. It's a crazy thing.
Gear of reporting.
Unit
Gear
ready.
of reporting.
We need to. Paul said concerning himself, that concerning his thorn in the flesh, he reveled in it.
Unit promoted.
Standing by. Gunner in position.
More God's strength in and through him. As we see mighty in his own strength. There's no
Unit
see
promoted.
God working mightily in your life. Verse 14. Then the children of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, "Why are you giving us
Aircraft
only
reporting.
one lot and one share
Gear
to
of
inherit,
reporting.
since we are great people, insomuch as the Lord has blessed us until now?" So Joshua answered them, "If you are great people, then go up to the forest country, clear a place for yourself there in the land of the Perizzites and the giants, since the mountains of Ephraim are too confined for you." But the children of Joseph said to him,
Allied
Gear
cruiser
of
ready.
reporting.
"All the Canaanites who dwell in
Protector
the
of
land
the
of
Allied
Galilee
fleet.
have chariots of
Ready to
iron,
land.
both those who are in the house of Ease and its towns,
Black
and those
Eagle
who are in
reporting.
the valley of
Let's
God's
take 'em out.
sows." So
Eagle
Joshua
Squadron.
spoke to the house of Joseph,
East
to
target.
Ephraim and Manasseh, saying, "You are a great people and have great power.
Gear
You
of
shall
reporting.
not have one lot, but the mountain country shall be yours. Although it is wooded, you shall cut it down,
Lost.
and its farthest
Our ally is
extent
under
shall be
attack.
yours. For you shall drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots and are strong."
Missile
Notice
system operational.
what Joshua does here.
Bring 'em
He tells them,
down.
"You want to have more land? Go up and take some more." And they say, "Oh no, there's trees up there. We have to cut them down, and guys have iron chariots." And Joshua says, "Yeah, I'm hearing that. Okay, here's the deal we'll cut. Go up and cut down the trees
Gear
and
of
defeat the
reporting.
people that have chariots." He doesn't say, "Oh gosh, that sounds really
Unit
difficult.
promoted.
Let's
Our
have you do
ally
something
is under
else then,
attack.
because
Navigating
that does
water
look really
space.
tough." No. He gives them a direction and says, "Go do that." And when they complain about it,
Black
he
Eagle
just
reporting.
restates it. He doesn't change their objective.
Gear of reporting.
Let's
Now-
take 'em out.
They're also making reference to the fact that really this is the double portion that Joseph gets ultimately from Israel, Jacob, where both of the sons are inherited, and they comprise the 12 tribes of Israel. 13 if you count all of
Gear of
them.
reporting.
But one full portion goes to Ephraim. Genesis 49. Moreover, I've given you one portion above your brothers, which I took from the land of the Amorites with my sword and my bow.
Eagle Squadron.
Jacob there is
Gunner in position.
before his sons. He is prophesying over them, telling them that when you go back, you're going to take a double portion. And it's interesting because really Joseph then fulfills the dream and vision that he had concerning not only the salvation of his sons, but the fact that he would be the one that would provide for not only his own life, but the whole nation of Israel. Let's move on to chapter 8. Now the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, which means place of rest. He set up a tabernacle of meeting there, and the land was subdued before them. And so what we have, if you look at the whole layout of the nation, is we have right in the heart of the nation is Ephraim, and right in the heart of Ephraim is Shiloh. And so this is the place the tabernacle will sit. And the tabernacle will remain there. It means tranquil or secure. It should be right in the heart. The place of worship should be in the heart of our life. And for the nation of Israel, it was to be in the heart. The most secure place in the nation was this area. The tabernacle would remain there until the time of Samuel, after the time of the judges. In fact, the Ark of the Covenant would remain there until it was taken away by the Philistines when Saul took it out into battle in 1 Samuel verse 11. At the death of Saul, they also lose the Ark of the Covenant. And it was returned by the Philistines when David was king, and there's a whole interesting story that takes place there. They set it up in their temple of Dagon, and the idol falls over and arms break off and everything. It's a story. You got to do some necessary homework here and study that. Let's go to verse 2. But there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes which had not yet received their inheritance. Then Joshua said to the children of Israel, how long will you neglect to go and possess the land which the Lord your Father has given you? Now, this is fascinating to me because we have 60 tribes have already settled in, and they have been defined, and they've been defined quite succinctly and quite generously in the land. But now he's turning to the other 7 saying, why are you still around here?
On hold.
What are you doing?
Cancel.
What are you waiting for?
Training.
Everything's been done. Go do it. Why were they not inheriting? Were they neglectful? Oftentimes, you'll find people that's the gift.
Black Eagle reporting.
The gift of
Easy
exhortation.
target.
Why are you still here?
Black Eagle
Why are
reporting.
you still wallowing around
Gunner in position.
in things that a person of your spiritual age, you should be past that. You know, the Apostle Paul rebuked the charismatic church in Corinth says to them, I'd love to talk to you as adults, but I have to talk to you as babies. I can't give you the meat of the word. I have to give you milk. And the sense there is, there should be a point when you can move people past the point of being so overly sensitive and silly and full of excuses and everything else. I tell you what, as a pastor for more than 25 years, that is probably one of the most frustrating areas as working with people, is recognizing that there are those who are adults still walking around in nappies. And you think, goodness sakes, take your inheritance. Why are you still struggling with that area of the flesh in your life? You should be way past that. They needed exhortation. Pick out from among yourself 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them. They shall rise and go throughout the land, survey it according to their inheritance, and come back to me. And they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall remain in their territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall remain in their territory to the north. And so, interesting situation takes place here. We have 2.5 tribes on the eastern shore of the Jordan River, 2.5 tribes on the western side of the Jordan River. Jordan has this huge piece of land to the south,
Eagle
Ephraim and
Squadron.
Manasseh really have the heartland of
Easy
Israel.
target.
And now Joshua is saying to them,
Couriers fighting.
now go out there
Gunner in
and survey
position.
the land for yourself and come back to me with your inheritance. Tell me where the borders are. You tell me. And it's fascinating to see. Just get a sense of the perspective here.
Our ally is under attack.
You shall therefore survey the land in 7 parts, and bring the survey to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. But the Levites have no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord.
Black Eagle reporting.
And Gad, Reuben, and
Black Eagle
half the
reporting.
tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan on the east, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. And so these guys are literally going to go, and they're going to define 7 plots.
Standing by.
But they
Eagle
don't know which
Squadron.
one they're
Eagle
gonna
Squadron. Aircraft reporting.
Interesting thing that Joshua was doing
Eagle
here.
Squadron.
You're going to go
Black
out
Eagle
and you're going to
reporting.
7 plots, and then you can come back
Black
and
Eagle
cast
reporting.
lots. So as you
Easy
go out, you can't
target.
say, well, this is a choice piece of land. This is good for me. And then somebody else will stop that. He's going to have to go out together and find 7 plots of land. Now remember, they had the capacity to go from the river of Egypt all the way to the Euphrates River. It's important that you remember what God promised to Abraham, a big plot. By the time they have their first inheritance, they inherit less than half the land. And I don't think it's a problem with God. I think it's a problem with the smallness of God's work in and through our life. I think we're the limiting factor on what God can do in our life. Then the men arose to go away, and Joshua charged those who went to survey the land, saying, go, walk through the land, survey it, and come back to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh. So the men passed through the land, and made the survey in a book in 7 parts by cities, and they came to Joshua and camped at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lot for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and there Joshua divided the land of the children of Israel according to their divisions. So now we're going to divide by lots. And you know, at this point you think, are these people confused? What on earth are they doing? They were told by Moses, Joshua chapter 14, Caleb quotes Moses as saying, surely the land where your foot has trodden shall be your inheritance, your children's forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. Now, Caleb makes that reference back to Joshua. Hey,
Black Eagle
Moses
reporting.
said, wherever we put our feet is out. That's how we claim it, by putting our feet there, not by looking at it and saying, yeah, that rock over there. No, you got to go over and walk there. You got to go there, not read a book about it, not talk to somebody about it, not promise yourself on your New Year's resolution you're going to do it.
Yeah, sure. Let's do
You
another.
have to go there. That's how they were to take possession. So Joshua is saying, now you walk through the land and you define
That was pretty
your
annoying,
inheritance. Now the tribe of the children of Benjamin
All
came up
Navy
according to their
attacks.
families, and the territory of their lot came out between the children of Judah and the children of
You
Joseph.
put a lot of money into
Their
your
border on the
anti-air.
north side began at the Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north, and went up through the mountains westward. It ended at the wilderness of the house of vanity. The border went over from there toward the almond tree, to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward, and the border descended to crowns of glory, near the hill that lies on the southern side of the house of hollowness. Then the border extended toward the west side of the south, from the hill that lies before the house of hollowness southward, and ended at the city of Baal, which is Kirjath Jearim, which means the city of forests. A city of the children of Judah
What's
was
the word?
west side. Now, the south side
The Soviet
began
bases
at
in Cuba
the
must
city
be
Unit
of
reporting.
forest,
Ready to
and
roll.
extended on
Ready
the
to
west
roll.
and went
Outstanding.
to the waters of the opening. Then the border came to the end of the mountains
Ready to
that
roll.
lies
Good to
before
go.
the valley of the
Construction
son
complete.
of Lamentations,
New
which
construction
is in the
options.
valley of Rephaim on the
Destination,
north,
Commander?
descending
Securing
to the
position.
valley of Lamentations
Vehicle
to
ready.
the side
Good
of
to
the
go.
Jebusite
Construction
city
Sir,
in
yes,
the
sir.
south,
Got
and
it.
descending
Orders?
to
Moving out.
the fountain of the explorer. Went
How
around
about
from
some
the north,
action?
Construction
went
Moving
out
out.
to the fountain of the
Vehicle
sun,
ready.
and
High
extended
speed, low
toward
drag.
Circus, which is before the ascent of
Ready.
the red ones.
Hooah!
and descended to the stone of the thumb of the son of
How about
Reuben.
some action?
Then it came
On the
along
move!
toward the north side of
Can
the
do!
desert plain,
On
went
the
down
move!
to the desert plain.
Destination,
And the
Commander?
border
On
passed
our way,
along
sir.
the north side of the
Construction
house of the
complete.
partridge. Then the border ended at the north Salt Sea,
Options.
at the south end of the Jordan.
On hold.
This is
Yes,
the
sir.
southern boundary.
Securing position.
Clear the way,
Jordan
sir!
was
Yes,
its
sir.
border
High
on the
speed,
east
low
side.
drag.
How about
This
some
was the
action?
inheritance
Destination,
of the
Commander?
children of
Good to go.
Benjamin, according
Ready
to
to
its
roll.
boundaries,
Good to
all
go.
around the town,
Vehicle
according
ready.
to their
Securing
families.
position.
The cities of the tribe
Yes,
of
sir.
the children of Benjamin,
Outstanding.
according to their families,
Sir,
were
yes, sir.
Jericho,
Hooah!
the house of Partridge, Valley
How about
Cutoff,
some action?
the
How about
house of
some
Desert
action?
Plain,
Got it.
Double Fleece Wool,
Got it.
House of God, Ruins, Heifertown, Farm,
Unit reporting.
Village of the
Good to go.
Ammonites, Moldy, Hill, Hill
Vehicle
City,
ready.
Hill,
Good to go.
Wells, Watchtower, the Lioness, Fountain, Variegation,
Destination, Commander?
God
On our
will
way,
heal,
sir.
Wheeling,
Yes, sir.
Rib,
Outstanding.
Thousands,
Unit reporting. Good to go.
Jebus, which is
Yes, sir.
Jerusalem,
Fire zone
the Hill,
High speed,
cities,
low drag.
14 cities
Ready
with
to
their
roll.
villages.
On our way.
This was the inheritance
ready.
of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Now,
Vehicle
Benjamin
ready. On
gets
our way, sir.
their inheritance. Remember, Judah had
Unit reporting.
112 cities.
Bound forward.
Unit
Ready to
ready.
roll. On our way, sir.
How many cities
Cannot deploy here.
did
Unit reporting. On our way, sir.
Benjamin
Unit
get?
reporting.
Reinforcements
14.
ready.
Gear of reporting.
14.
Unit ready.
Ooh,
Unit
little
building.
skip in there.
Destination,
Sold.
Commander?
Place.
Unit reporting. Ready to roll.
Eventually, it
How about
gets
some action?
gobbled up
On
by
the move!
Judah during the
Unit
time
ready.
of David's rule. But nonetheless,
Vehicle ready. Vehicle ready.
let's turn to
Yes,
chapter
sir.
19.
Bound
Carry on.
forward.
The second lot came out for Simeon, the
Unit
tribe of
ready.
the children of Simeon, according to their
Construction
families, and their inheritance was
Gear of
written
reporting.
within the inheritance of the children of Judah. They had their inheritance, the
Building.
well of the sevenfold, the city of birth, the village of the
ready.
jackal, waxed old bone, God's
Ready to roll.
generation,
On our way,
dweller in
sir.
God, devotion,
Unit ready.
winding, house of chariot, village of the horse, house of
Building.
the lioness, refuge
Unit
of
ready.
grace, spring, pomegranate,
Building.
abundance, smoke, 4 cities,
All fired up.
and all the
Unit
villages
ready.
around
Rocket to the
these
sky.
cities as
Pushing
far
away.
as the mistress of the well, hill,
Ready
the
to
south.
soar.
Unit
This
ready.
is the
Got a
inheritance
steady
of the
flow.
tribe of children of
Tools
Simeon,
of the
according to
trade.
their families,
Need a
the
conversion?
inheritance of the children of
Watch
Simeon
my
was
dot view.
included in the
Ignite
shares
and
of the
boosters.
children of Judah. For
Tools of the
Judah,
trade.
children of Judah
Yep,
was too
tools of
much
the
for
trade.
them, therefore the
Watch
children
my
of
dot
Simeon
up.
had their
Pushing
inheritance
away.
within the inheritance
We can make adjustments.
of that.
I can go anywhere.
You notice you're not given
Unit
specifically
Pushing away. Everything's made to
Unit
fit.
ready.
because Simeon's guys went out and surveyed an area
Ready to roll.
already conquered by Judah.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Securing position. Destination, Commander?
You know, these guys were really
Unit
brave.
reporting.
Our
They
ally
went and
is
just took an area that was within an area
Yes,
already
sir.
given to
High
Judah.
speed, low drag.
Because they said Judah has too much.
Yes, sir. Bound
It's
forward.
interesting when you have people talk about later on the northern tribes of
Vehicle
Israel.
ready. Transformer panel
I
in
don't know how
order.
you get 10
Taking them
tribes,
down.
given the fact that Benjamin, Judah, and Simeon are in the south. So
Our
there are no
ally
northern
Made
tribes.
for
Where the
speed.
lost 10 tribes
Of
of
course.
Israel. Simeon gets assumed into the tribe of Judah. Take their inheritance there, but they disappear.
Watch my dot. Running
The
smooth.
third lot came out for the children of Zebulun
Check
according to
out
their
the view.
families.
Got
and
it fired
their
up, sir.
inheritance
Up and
was
over.
as far as Survivor. Sounds like a television program. Their border went
Building.
toward the west
Aren't the trees
to
lovely?
Trembling, to a hill
natural.
place extended
Sir,
along
yes,
the
sir.
brook
Hooah!
that is
Can
east
do.
of the people lament.
24/7.
Then from Survivor it went eastward toward the sunrise along the border of the
Perfect
flanks of the
hideout.
mound.
Creeping
And it
ahead.
went down toward Word,
Nobody here but us trees.
bypassing
Laying
Shinar.
low.
And from there it passed
Unit
along the east
Nobody here
of
but
the
us
wine
trees.
press of digging
Laying low.
toward
Vehicle ready.
time of
High
their,
speed, low drag.
judge
Yes,
and
sir.
extended
Outstanding.
to pomegranate,
Unit reporting.
which
High
borders
speed, low
Judah.
drag. Ready to
The
roll.
border went
Bound
around on
forward.
its north side of
Unit
graciousness and
Good to
under
go.
the valley
Ready to roll.
God opened.
Securing position.
Included
Yes, sir.
were
High speed,
small
nobody here but us trees.
pasture,
Look natural.
watch height, memorial of
Yes, sir.
God, and
Securing
Bethlehem,
position.
Lord's house of
Green,
God.
and
It's a
unseen.
different Bethlehem.
Look ready to roll.
12 cities
On our
and
way,
their
sir.
villages.
Unit reporting.
This was
Securing
the
position.
inheritance of Zebulun according to the county of these cities and their villages. And so you have
Bound
Zebulun.
forward.
He
Destination,
takes
Commander?
his
High speed, low
inheritance
drag.
and And look at the size of that.
Vehicle ready. Securing
These guys
position.
really were pushing the boat out, weren't they? They were really trying to see what they could inherit in 12 cities.
Yes, sir. Securing position.
Fourth lot came out to Issachar.
trees,
The
lovely.
children of
Creeping
Issachar,
ahead.
according to their
Unit
families. And their territory went to God's sows that included flanks,
Unit reporting.
double resting
Ready to roll.
places, 2
Unit
pits,
On our way,
inland,
sir. Yes, sir.
only
Nobody here but us
fear,
trees.
multitude
Unit
of
reporting.
I will make white.
Yes,
Pipe,
sir.
fountain,
On our way, sir.
gardens, swift fountain, house
Vehicle
of
ready.
Unit
On our way,
Persian,
sir.
and
Perfect
to
height.
the border to reach
Going
Hebron,
mobile.
which is mountain.
Nobody here but us trees.
Toward
Nobody
the
here but us
heights,
trees. Replanting.
House of the Sun, their
Unit
borders
ready.
Creeping ahead.
ended
Destination,
at the Jordan,
Commander?
16
Good to
cities
go.
with their
Mean,
villages.
green, and
This is the
unseen.
inheritance of the
Orders
children
ahead.
of
Moving
Issachar,
out.
according
Unit
to their
reporting.
families, the cities,
Bound forward.
villages. So
Good to
yeah,
go.
Issachar is an area around the
On our way, sir.
area of
Nobody here but us
Megiddo,
trees.
would be on the southern
Everything's
border,
made to
so
fit.
Jezreel
On the
Valley,
go.
Megiddo,
I'm the
Issachar.
trees. Lovely.
It's a very
Creeping
fertile
ahead.
area, very good farming.
Ready to roll.
Lovely.
Outstanding.
That and
Unit
that.
reporting. Outstanding. Natural sanctuary. Going mobile.
Had the ability to walk clear up to the Euphrates
Look
River.
natural.
And this is what they've defined for themselves.
Check out the view.
The fifth lot
All
came out
fired
from the
up.
tribe of the children of Asher, according to their families. Their territory included
Fuel tank
Smooth,
filled.
Necklace,
You
Womb,
got no place to hide.
Mason, Oak of the Garden Land, westward along the brook with
Ready to
blackness
soar.
of whiteness.
I'll take the high
They
road.
turned toward the
Nobody here but us
sunrise
trees.
of the house of the
Creeping
fifth
ahead.
god,
I can go anywhere.
and for
I'll
the
take the
valley
high road.
of God
ready.
opens,
Transformer panel in order.
beyond the house
Transformer
of the
panel
valley.
in
All
order.
fired up.
Moved by
Got a
God.
steady flow.
Bypassing binding,
Check out the
which is
view.
on the left,
Transformer panels in order.
including
Yep. Tools
Alliance,
of the trade.
Unit
Broad
lost.
Place, Warm Springs,
Needing conversion.
and Reed as far
On the go.
as Greater Sidon.
We've got it.
That is Huntington. And the border turned to
All
the
fired
hill,
up. They
and
won't
to the
see us
fortified city
We can
of
make
Tyre
adjustments.
that rock. Then the border turned toward
Tools of the trade. Needing conversion. Everything's made to fit.
by
Watch
the
my
region
touch. Up and over. Tools of the trade. Watch my touch.
also
Transformer panels in order.
closure, Broad Place included 22 cities with their villages.
Tools of the trade. On the go. IFP ready. Secure shot.
Pennsylvania Asher now has the north
checked
coast
and
of
cleared.
Israel.
Location
And,
is key.
They stretch up to the area of
Repairing.
Let's set up shop.
Bay.
Unit promoted.
The sixth lot came out from the children of Tilly, from the children of Tilly, according
Destination,
to
Commander? Good to go. Unit reporting.
That exchange of territory
Vehicle ready. Outstanding.
movings, capturing the man of glory,
Unit promoted.
and God causes to build as
Creeping
far
ahead.
as
Can do.
fortifications. It ended at the Jordan.
Natural sanctuary.
From
Look
exchange, the
natural.
border extended westward.
Chrono
to
miner
Pizza,
reporting for duty.
went from there to war
How about some
appointed.
action? Sir,
and
yes,
joined
sir.
Zebulun on the
Double
south
time.
side and Asher on the west side. Ended at Judah by the Jordan toward the southern coast. And the fortified cities are the Clevites, Flint, Springs, and Shore, Parks, Deer, Hill, Castle, Holy Springs, Garden Pasture, Mountain, Castle,
Promoted.
Fearing, Tower of God, Sacred, House of Affliction, and House of Sun. 19 cities with their villages. This was the
Unit
inheritance
ready.
of the tribe of the children of
Select
Naphtali, according to their families, the city, and their villages.
Unit
So
ready.
we now have Naphtali, and again, they're taking this high
Unit
country
ready.
to the
Let's make a warpath. Nothing preparing for battle.
Unit
Let's see some
promoted.
action.
Unit ready.
Creeping ahead. Destination, Commander? Good to go. Ready to roll. Driver up.
Unit ready.
the seventh one came out to the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their
Unit
families, and the
Outstanding.
territory they
Ready to
inherited
roll.
Ready.
was Hornet,
Unit ready.
Treaty, City of Sun God, Place
Want
of
some shade?
Foxes, Field
Laying
of
low.
Deer, Hangs, Mighty, Fortune,
Unit
torn up by
ready.
the roots, let God
Who's
spew
your
ye
daddy?
out,
Cover me. Get it on.
place,
We're
mistress,
uncrowned.
beauty,
We'll show them what we
lightning,
got, sir. Right away, sir.
wine press, pomegranate, waters,
Yes,
the temple with the region near
I'm
the
here of
and so the
Laying
final
low.
inheritance then comes out
Replanting.
Dan, Interesting, Dan is
Tanks are
the
no
last
match.
tribe
Show
to
'em what I
mention
got.
here.
Move.
We'll find out in the next few
Squared
verses
away,
why
sir.
I think that is so.
Sir, yes, sir.
It's also
Double
interesting
time.
to note
Unit ready.
that Dan,
Let's
when
rock
we
and roll.
read
Select target.
about
Preparing for
144,000,
Transformer
battle.
panels in order.
Reporting.
Dan is not
Preparing for battle.
144,000. It doesn't mean
We will trample on enemies.
Rolling
Rolling thunder.
Fuel tanks are filled. Right nice.
But
Transformer
they
panels in
are
already. Securing position.
really led to
Taking it close. Let's see some action. Let's make a war path.
Promoting it up and down the country.
I'm gone.
And the
I've
board of
got
the
the
children
knowledge.
of Dan went beyond that.
I won't be late.
Dan went up to fight against precious stone and took it, and they struck it with the edge
Preparing
of the
for
sword,
battle.
took possession of it,
Yes,
and
sir.
dwelt in it. They came to the precious stone.
Unit reporting.
Dan, whose name means a judge, named
Need a
it
repair?
Dan, after
Studying
the name of
blueprints.
Dan, their father.
Moving.
This
Got
is
the
the
plans
great
right here.
Good to go.
Dan family.
High speed, low drag.
So we'll get this when we're in Judges.
Repair facility.
Securing position.
There are those who
Destination
just
commander.
go too far.
Outstanding.
Preparing for battle.
and fight against the
Charge!
Philistines, recognizing that Samson was from the tribe of
Repairing.
Dan.
We will trample on enemies. Let's see some action. Battle fortress on the alert.
Took inheritance
Let's load up the
of
troops.
Galilee region.
We will trample on enemies. Let's see some action.
Unit
A whole area
promoted.
of an altar and whatever that was
Base is under attack.
Continuing verse 49. Now when they had made an end to the dividing of the land as an inheritance according to their borders, the children of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. According to the word of the Lord, they gave him the city which he asked for.
Construction complete.
Nobody here but us trees.
And the mountain of Bethlehem,
Planting.
and he built the city and dwelt in it.
Cancelled.
These were the inheritances which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun by lot in Shiloh before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, so they made an end of dividing the country.
Destination
You know,
commander.
as we
Ready to
finished
roll, Commander.
the study
Good to
here,
go.
we noticed that
Destination
the
commander.
fathers gave Joshua land where?
Reinforcements.
In the
ready.
mountains. Remember, that was the part they didn't want to go to. They didn't want to cut down the forest, so they gave
Need a
Joshua an
conversion?
inheritance there.
Made for speed.
But he makes that his
Check
home.
out the view. Watch my dust.
Like Caleb,
Fuel tanks are
Joshua
tools
had
of the
been
trade.
promising
Stay
very
low. Tools of the trade. Running smooth.
I think
Tools of
there's so
the
much
trade.
character of Joshua, not just
Gear
simply as
of
a type
reporting.
and shadow of Christ. Of course, the book is absolutely pregnant with types and shadows
Building.
of Jesus. You can't hardly
Everything's made to fit. On the
not
go.
see the parallels
Construction
between
complete.
Joshua and Jesus. He's such a tremendous guy. He began his service
Promoted.
by serving
Yep.
Moses.
Transformer panels in order.
He
Yep.
commands the army of Israel, the first military conquest at Rephidim, against the Amalekites, who have become a type and shadow of the flesh. He accompanies Moses on Mount Sinai, and when the 70 elders of Israel who have seen the presence of God
Construction
leave
complete.
Moses on the
Transformer
mountain,
panels in order.
everybody
Made for
forgets there's one
speed.
individual who did not descend the mountain
Cannot
with them, and
deploy
that's Joshua. He stays
New
there on the
construction
mountain
options.
for 40 days and 40
Building.
nights. When Moses is up in the presence of God, Joshua
Unit
is
ready.
not down in the presence of God. He is waiting for Moses.
Unit ready.
So he is the only one who does not defile himself with the idolatry that would take place there with the calf incident.
Unit ready.
After that, of course, Moses is
ready.
disgusted with the children of Israel, and he moves his tent outside of the camp of Israel, and Joshua goes with him and stands guard outside of the tent of Moses, the first tabernacle. Now,
Unit lost.
he will reside
Unit ready.
near Shiloh,
Select
which is the tabernacle. So you can't help but see
Unit
the parallels
Now you see
between
me,
this
soon
person,
you won't.
Joshua,
Tools of the
and
trade.
person of
We've
Jesus
got him.
Christ. And notice he's the last to take
Unit
good
ready.
leadership.
IFT ready. Made for speed.
Being
Unit
created
Taking them down. IFT ready. On the go.
as their
It's a
rightful
short shot.
position.
Everything's made to fit.
Unit lost.
IFT ready.
Players
position
defeated.
as as a servant, as Jesus
victorious.
did with his own disciples on the night in which he was betrayed. After supper, he puts on the clothing of a servant and goes around and washes his disciples' feet. And so we see that type of humble servitude within the leadership of Joshua.
Establishing battlefield.
Let's
In
set
our
up
next
shop.
study, we'll be looking at chapter 20 and 21.
Ready to roll.
So we need to
Destination, Commander?
read ahead
The
to
other
get
commander
that
will be
as we
positioned to the east near several
continue our
oil
study.
derricks and
On our way, sir. Outstanding.
new construction options.
Lord, we are thankful for your
Destination,
word.
Commander?
Lord, that we have such a
Yes, sir.
wonderful
Bound forward.
example in this person.
Need a repair? Studying
Such
blueprints.
a wonderful
How about
type
some
of shadow
action?
for us
Engineering.
as those
I won't be
who,
late. Got the plans right
have
here.
Cannot deploy.
Vehicle ready. Securing position. Ready to roll.
Construction options.
Unit reporting.
not something
High speed, low
that
drag.
comes after death, Lord.
Unit reporting.
When we
Ready to roll. High speed, low drag. Unit reporting. High speed, low drag. Destination, Commander? On our way, sir. Vehicle ready. On our way, sir.
Yes, God,
Training.
we like seed from the soul.
Construction complete. Unit ready.
Produce that which you sent us. We learn day by day to be obedient unto you and to not make treaties. It would be the deeds of you,
Unit lost.
flesh to death, die.
Cannot deploy. Building. New construction options.
Destination, Commander? Securing position.
Battle fortress on the alert! Let's see some action!
This evening, let's turn to the book of Joshua,
Destination,
chapter
Commander?
20.
Ready!
We're in the 10th session of our study through the book of Joshua. And as we pointed out in our last two studies, we're in this section of the book of Joshua where we are looking at
Yes, sir.
each
Outstanding.
of the tribes and families of Israel receiving their possession. And of course, we pointed out already what the deserves and repeat as we set ourselves up for tonight.
Unit
That
ready.
as we look at this, of course, this is not only a real record of real history with real people doing real things,
Ready to roll.
but
Commencing
the
assault.
parallels to you and I concerning our inheritance in Christ, not looking at that which we receive in a heavenly realm,
Building.
but that inheritance that we gain by being obedient to God, being led by the Spirit in the life that we now live. And there are many parallels, and we've been pointing that out as we go
Destination,
into
Commander?
this study. So let's continue in Joshua chapter 20,
Building.
beginning in verse 1. The Lord also spoke to Joshua, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Appoint for yourselves cities of refuge, of which I spoke to you through Moses, that the slayer who kills a person accidentally or unintentionally may flee there, and they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. Now, to appreciate this, you need a little bit of background on the Israel's judicial system. And there is no police force. Rather,
Let's show them what we got.
that would be carrying out the law. Rather than that, they are employing a community type of police force and a law that are being judged by the people themselves.
Perfect hideout.
The idea here
On the prowl.
is the person that would be
Creeping
the
ahead.
prosecutor in a crime of manslaughter
away, sir.
would be
On my way. How
the
about some
relative
action?
of the killed person. That person is referred to as the avenger of blood.
Nobody
Now,
here but
this
us.
term avenger is an
Look natural.
interesting
Want some shade?
term
Creeping
in that
ahead.
it comes from the Hebrew word goel.
Construction
And if
complete.
you're familiar with that term, you'll know that it's referencing a person with the legal responsibility to protect the rights of an endangered relative. And of course, probably the most famous goel in terms of Old Testament history is that of Boaz. He was the goel, the kinsman
green,
redeemer for
unseen.
Naomi and Ruth. So don't always think of the goel
Clear the way,
as
sir.
a bloodthirsty avenger. His job is to protect a less fortunate relative, and that's the purpose of the goel. And that's why when you study the book of Ruth, Jesus is such a wonderful type and shadow of the goel, who as our kinsman redeemer
Nobody here but us trees.
redeems that which is lost from us and redeems it back to us. Now, in particular, since they don't have a police force, the only judicial system they have is the prosecutor is the relative of the injured party,
Preparing for battle.
and the one
Let's load
who
up the troops.
has committed or is accused of committing the crime then has to flee to one of these cities of refuge. But as you can imagine, this would be an issue that could be disputed. So you can't just have a relative of someone who you've accidentally injured or killed show up at your door and want to take vengeance upon you. Especially when you have situations like that, there can be conflicts of facts and emotionally charged grief. And so they need to have an independent third party. And the way they do that is through these cities of refuge. That's the way Israel would fairly judge specifically over this issue of manslaughter.
Can do.
In Exodus chapter 21, beginning in verse 12, we see the commandment of God concerning this. We read, "He who strikes a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. However, if he did not lie in wait, but God delivered him into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place where he may flee." And so the idea is not for the premeditated murderer. He could rush to a city of refuge, and the elders at the gate, if they determined that his case was not authentic, and we'll come on to what some of that criteria is, then he would be prevented from entering. But if it truly was manslaughter, accidental murder in that sense, then he would be allowed into the cities of refuge. Number 35 gives us a little more insight. Beginning in verse 10, "Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall appoint cities to be the cities of refuge for you, that the manslayer who kills any person accidentally may flee there.
Ready to roll.
They shall be
Unit
cities
reporting.
of refuge for you from the avenger, that the manslayer
Destination, Commander?
may not
Good to
die
go.
until he
Ready to
stands
roll.
before the
Outstanding.
congregation in judgment."
Ready.
Now, the
Double
whole crux
time.
of the matter is on this issue of defining what is accidental death. That's manslaughter, even by our current judicial system. Accidental death is called manslaughter. Deuteronomy chapter 19, beginning in verse 4, says, "And this is the case of the manslayer who flees there, that they may live. Whoever kills his neighbor unintentionally, not having hated him in time past, as when a man goes to the woods with his neighbor to cut timber, and his hand swings a stroke with the axe to cut down a tree, and the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, he shall flee to one of the cities and live." And so you get the scenario there, that two aspects of it. There has to be opportunity, and there has to be motive. And so if they see motive, it's going to be difficult. You hated this guy and you accidentally killed him, you'll probably be judged and executed for murder. So guarding the heart of an individual, make sure you don't go into a dangerous work situation with someone you hate, I guess would be the way to mitigate the likelihood of this. This brings up an interesting parallel in my own life. When we lived in Southern California, there was a tree out in front of our house. It was planted there by the previous owners, and it wasn't planted properly. And so as it grew over time, the roots began to come out in the grass, and they began to unearth the concrete and whatever. And so I took it to myself that I was going to not only have it professionally cut down, but then I was going to split it into firewood. And so a professional logger came out and cut the tree down, laid it down, made it into large slabs, and I was going to get a splitting maul and begin to go at splitting all this wood into firewood. And as I was banging away really on this very, very hard wood, I came down with the head of the axe, and all of a sudden the handle flew out of my hand and went through went through the window of my neighbor's house. Now, what was really spooky about that was 5 minutes before that, he was there laying on a couch looking out the window watching me cut the log. Fortunately, he'd got up to get a cup of tea, and so when we both rushed into his little side room there. The axe was laying on the guy's bed. So I feel a special sense of connection with the potential of that actually happening. It certainly happened to me, but fortunately no one died. So I was okay there. But that gives you this sense of what would be defined from Deuteronomy as what acts of fine. Verse 4. And when he flees to one of those cities and stands at the entrance of the gate of the city and declares his case in the hearing of the dwellers of the city, they shall take him into the city as one of them and give him a place that he may dwell among them. Then if the avenger of blood pursues him, they shall not deliver the slayer into his hand because he struck his neighbor unintentionally but did not hate him beforehand. And so now we have this definition of what takes place. So the man has intentionally killed someone, he runs to the city of refuge, gets there before the avenger of blood, the near relative that is going to avenge killed man, and he comes to the city of refuge. So shelter is sought, protection is given, and witnesses are heard. And so they judge him at the gates. That's why when you see examples of men of renown, they're known by the fact that they would spend time at the gate. That's where the judgment controlled the entrance and exit of the city.
Let's see some action.
That sort of stigma. But there's some other things I want us to look at here with regards to the city of refuge, and that is that there are 7 facts about these cities that are foreshadows of Jesus Christ. We love to find things in the Old Testament that foreshadow Jesus Christ. And so we'll quickly go through those at this juncture. First of all, the cities are owned by the Levites. They are the advocates. So now we have the accused, the one who is running to the city. We have the prosecutor, that is the avenger of blood, or the Goel. And then we have the accused, and then we have the advocates. Those are the ones who are going to weigh the evidence. And the Levites, that is the responsibility in these cities of refuge, is to adjudicate, to judge between the accuser and who is being accused. 1 John chapter 2 tells us, my little children, I write these things to you so that you may not sin. And if anyone sins, we have an advocate with God, Jesus Christ the righteous. And so like the Levites in the city of refuge, the Levites were acting as the advocate. They were there, and their premise is to consider him innocent. Notice their instruction: when he comes, you examine him and you take him in and you provide a place for him. You're to protect him as if he is one of your own. So when the avenger of blood, the Goel, comes, he does not have access to the city. He's barred access to the city. So these cities are like Christ as our advocate. Number 2, these cities are always located on top of a mountain. 2 Corinthians 4:3 tells us, but if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. So you don't want a city of refuge to be someplace it's hard to find. And so all 6 of these cities of refuge, I point out, are cities that were on top of a hill or a mountain, so they can be seen from a great distance. They're all located close to all of Israel. So there are 6 of these cities, and they're spread in an interesting pattern so that everyone can get there.
Now you see me?
It's an easy day's walk. Better
you
than
can
that.
restart.
Easy day's run.
Control terminated.
Romans chapter 10 verse 8 tells us, but what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart.
I'm in the main menu now.
That is the word of faith which we preach. It has to be near. It has to be something that people can get to. They don't need to go through a long process to find these cities of refuge. Number 4, they're open to everyone, not only the children of Israel, but also to the Gentiles. And of course, in Romans chapter 10, verse 12, we read, for there is no distinction between Jew and Greek, for the same Lord over all is rich to all who call upon him. And isn't that a wonderful understanding, to recognize that God is not going to favor the Jews over the Gentiles with regards to his acting on our behalf as our advocate. Number 5, it's open at all times. They were to have people manning the gates day and night, to be able to be open all the time. And Revelation 3:8 tells us, I know your works. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have little strength, and have kept my word, and have not denied my name. And of course, that's Jesus saying, I've set before you a door that no one can close. And that door that's open is that of his advocacy on our behalf. Number 6, each of these cities were to be stocked with food and provisions for
Had to restart.
those who would flee there.
Did we
In
restart?
other words, they
No, I
wouldn't
didn't
have to
restart
come
mine.
bringing their own provisions.
Yeah.
The city was...
Yo, Whiskey X-Ray, you wanna know what's crazy about how shit you are at this game, dude?
Whiskey nigga, he's just sat in the corner just fucking not moving.
We got Whiskey in. Okay, that's cool.